Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 7 with Kevin Live. My name is Kevin Maynard. I'm the Executive Director of Quad City Arts, and I want to thank you all for joining us. Now, Quad City Arts, our mission is to enrich the quality of life in the Quad City region through the arts. Now, to do this, we work with hundreds of artists throughout the year in a plethora of genres and mediums. Now, our staff gets the enjoyment of working closely with these artists and learning more about them. And that's what 7 with Kevin is all about, because we want to share that with you. Now, if you're tuning in live, please go ahead and leave a comment and ask some questions. And if you don't have any questions, still comment. Please tell us, what was your favorite arts memory from this past year? Now, tonight, I will be joined by some members of the Quad City Arts teams to take a look back at this year. And we'll look at, the good, the bad, the ugly of what has seemed like the longest year on record. But as you can see, my setting is very different tonight. Normally I'm in our gallery. Normally you can see my face, but tonight I am joining us from the Quad City Botanical Center, where we are at their Winter Nights, Winter Lights Festival. And I'll take a stand up here and slowly turn around, try not to give you any of you motion sickness, but you can see all these beautiful lights back here. Now, this is a fantastic event and a wonderful asset in our community. This is actually going to be running all through the holidays. We'll go through January 10th. They're doing, you can visit here between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. And it is a socially distanced, COVID safe, mask required, as you can see, just a really, really fantastic event. But tonight we're here to talk about some events going on in Quad City Arts. I want to bring on a few folks from our team. We have Alex Salaveria, Kaylee Trammell, and Dawn Wolford Metallo. Please, let's have them. Let's see. There we go. There's Alex and Kaylee. Excellent. Now this is a pretty exciting thing, because Alex is the person who manages all of the background on this. She's the person that makes this all happen. But this is, I think, the first time that you've been on the screen, right, Alex?
Yeah, it's kind of nerve-wracking. It's very different being in front of the screen instead of in the background. Oh, and I see Dawn's over here joining us. So let me just pop her in. See, this is what happens usually.
Excellent. And there's Dawn. Welcome. All right. Well, hey, I want to start with some basics here. So we'll start with Alex, and then we'll go to Dawn, and then Kaylee. Let's just tell our audience your name, what it is that you do at Quad City Arts, and how long have you been with us?
I am Alex Salaveria. I am the media specialist here, and I've been on at Quad City Arts for 9 months. My first day was actually the stay-at-home order, so that's been a lot of fun for me. Go ahead, Kaylee or Dawn.
My name is Kaylee Trammell. I am the Festival of Trees Administrator at Quad City Arts. And I have been at Quad City Arts, I think, about a year and a half-ish. So this was my second Festival of Trees this year. The first time running it officially, and boy, was it exciting.
Two very different experiences.
Yeah, absolutely.
My name is Dawn Wolford Metallo. I have been at Quad City Arts for 20 years. I am the visual art director, so I am in charge of the Airport Art Gallery, the gallery in Rock Island, the Sales Gallery, and public sculpture.
Excellent. Obviously, our senior employee holds all the history and the good bits of information. All right. So obviously, I think just about for everybody, including Quad City Arts, this year has been filled with ups and downs. And it feels like, one of the longest years that we've had. But I want to talk about, just kind of take a look back at all of this. I'd actually like to start with, what we kind of refer to as the pre-COVID times, that January, February. just kind of remember those events. So does Dawn or Kaylee, since you were both with Quad City Arts at that time, do you have any memories from that period of this year?
It
Well, I
feels like
do.
a million years ago. Another lifetime.
It does seem like a very long time ago, but the year came in with a boom. I was super excited. We had our show called about tattoos, tattoo artists being artists, and it was just, first of all, it was eye-opening because we met so many new artists that are in the community that do their own artwork as well as their tattoo artwork. Those people connected with each other. And the opening was just a blast. We had over 100 people. Nobody was wearing masks. There were live demonstrations that you could see here of somebody getting a hair design. And we just kicked off the year great. It was fantastic. And I was hoping to continue that momentum for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about that event in particular is that we just had so much stuff going on. I mean, you had the guy doing the almost like the hair tattoo of Salvador Dali, and then we also had children's tattoos that the stick on for the skin. It was just a really, really fun event, and as you can see, no masks and lots of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very weird to see so many people gathered in a space, and like there was not even the thought of the fact that we would be in this place at this point now. That's wild.
Yeah, I will say for me, when I was doing the show prep for this, it was really surprising taking a look back that it was this year that we met David Henry Huang. He was in our community. He was at Augustana. And did a great little talk to some students, and then did a really fantastic talk with the public. It was really an incredible experience, and it wasn't that long ago. And we also had a great pass event with Chicago Dance Crash. And again, a bunch of people in a room enjoying live art. So yeah.
I'm trying to find that photo actually right now because it looked like a good time.
No worries. And so kind of like, and then obviously, the world shifted. So I want to talk about that because, for us, I mean, we do everything resulting around mass gatherings. So there was some pretty strong emotion having to cancel some of that. So I want to talk about, like, in terms of Quad City Arts, what was the most difficult moment or decision? And Dawn, we'll start with you.
Okay, well, the most difficult one was the very first one, which was canceling our annual high school art show. As I said, I've been there 20 years, so it was my 20th time doing it, and it's the highlight of my year every year, being able to award and acknowledge high school students for their creativity and their talent in giving them money and getting them going on their college careers with portfolios and art supplies. It's awesome, the feeling and to see their faces when their name gets called. And then just as I was trying to hang that show when we got the order that we had to close up, and it was like, how do we not do this? This is so important, and we already have all the money to give away. So, and that was a series of decisions that had to be made. Like, first it was like, okay, we'll just hang the show with nobody there, and then we'll film it. Well, then the schools closed down, so the teachers couldn't get the work that they had prepared to bring, and the schools wouldn't let them in. So then we shifted, and it was like, okay, we'll allow anybody who can take a photograph of the work to submit that. And so that started working. And then as that week went on, schools were letting teachers go in and get the work. In some cases, I had to go pick up the work and photograph it myself. our whole team came together to get the photos ready to go online. Alex had to create a whole new website just to make this, happen, because we'd never done it before. We didn't have the technology to put in a gallery online. And so she did that, and we were all working together to get all the details to make sure we had the right label with the art, the student's name, and all of that. And then that led to having to set up online judging. And then that led to doing a virtual award ceremony where we went into the gallery, and with the few pieces of art that we had gotten pre-quarantine, we just filmed a virtual experience of presenting awards. So lots and lots of changes, just boom, 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 to make that happen. And it was kind of heartbreaking, because I felt bad for the high school students who were not going to have this opportunity, followed by not going to have a prom, not going to have a graduation, and on and on. It just was very emotional, I think, for all of us.
Definitely. That was definitely a hard decision to make. But the other thing that I do think you identified there was some really great positive, is that all of our sponsors stuck with us and agreed that this should continue. And we were able to pivot as a team and put on a virtual award show when we had, we didn't plan on doing that. But the positive thing is that I think more people were able to see the virtual award show than could fit into our gallery. So that's that's a cool thing. So, I'm gonna skip Kaylee because I think I know what Kaylee's is. So, but I'll go to Alex. Alex, do you have one? I mean, you were so fresh and new with Quad City Arts.
Yeah, it's been challenging, but it's been kind of almost fun to figure out how to do everything, in a different way, just because it's just finding those solutions is what kind of like feeds my creativity at times. So it's like a constant problem solving issue, but the problems continue. So it's been kind of fun in a way. I know that's weird for me to say that, but I think that we've jumped through a lot of different issues and have actually, like, I think, improved a lot of different things. So having the new website, I think that has really laid things out very clearly for people to visit our website and be able to view the galleries and view specifically all of our different programs. I think that when I came on board, I didn't realize how many programs we actually offered the public. So Arts Dollars, which is coming up, that's a huge one that I had no idea about. And I'm so glad that I do, because it not only emphasizes the need for creative outlets for different businesses, but it fosters other artists too. Like it pays for a lot of creatives, to complete projects that are really fulfilling for the Quad Cities. So it's been really fun to, find out things like that. But also, I was with Quad City Arts a little bit when I was a student, and I had submitted artwork and things like that. So finding out all of the things that happen behind the scenes has been great. And I'm just really excited to have all of this knowledge. So I feel empowered to be like sharing it with everyone. But like now that I'm on screen, I just don't know what to say next. So help me out, guys.
This is perfect. I mean, this is what you're talking about is it's like you become a Quad City Arts advocate once you started realizing all of these things that we do. And so I think that's wonderful. All right, Kaylee, I'm going to go to you. What was the most difficult decision?
Zero difficult decisions. Obviously the decision that we had to make this summer to pivot Festival of Trees was huge. And the weight of that decision was really heavy. And thank goodness, like I don't have to bear that weight alone. So thankfully our team shared it, and our team of volunteers shared the weight of making that decision and trying to figure out how do we make this event that is basically a giant gathering of people work in a year where that is impossible. And so that decision by far was hugely emotional for myself, for our volunteers who do this every single year for the past, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. It was an incredible sort of moment of saying, we recognize that this is what we have to do, but it is really hard. And it was a really tough decision to make. Yeah. And so the process of going through that and alerting the public and trying to help people see that Festival of Trees isn't gone. We're just doing something different. And trying to reframe that was exciting, challenging, just trying to let people know, like, hey, we're still here. We're still trying to bring holiday cheer to the Quad Cities and raise money for Quad City Arts. And it went through hundreds probably of iterations, kind of reflecting. I was thinking back on sort of that, optimistic spirit that I had there in the beginning, that we would be able to accomplish all of these things, just not all together. And then slowly realizing, like, okay, what can we actually do with the boundaries that we have set based on what we're allowed to do, based on what the comfort level of our volunteers are, based on, all of the things that we had to consider. And so by the time it came to the point where we had a solid plan, it was a plan that I think everyone was on board with, and we were ready to make it happen. And boy, did we. And I am just so tickled to have been able to be part of this process, even though I would never wish to do it again. It has been hugely exciting, challenging, empowering, encouraging, just to see the community and our volunteers come together in support of Quad City Arts, and to see the love for Festival of Trees continue on in this year where it would have been very easy for us to say, we're just going to forget the whole thing. So I'm really thankful for the opportunity to kind of steer the ship a little bit in a direction that was unique and different. And I'm thankful that, we were able to make something good out of what we were handed this year.
Yeah, we also got to spread a little holiday cheer doing the cookie caravan. I thought that was really special. A lot of wonderful.
Yeah, one of our volunteers came up with that idea to do that, and she made it happen. And it was incredible to see the response to that, and just to be able to think about folks who, in this time where we weren't allowed to go anywhere or do anything, for a lot of folks, that is their reality a lot of the time, and was made even worse with kind of the situation. And so to say to them, like, hey, we didn't forget you. We see you. Here's a little bit of holiday cheer. I think that was a really fun way to pivot this year. And we found a lot of things that I think we were going to want to keep, which is kind of the lesson in all of this is that we probably wouldn't have tried it if we didn't have to do it. And we did, and it worked. Also, Alex built a second website for Festival of Trees this year. Shout out to her.
So that actually is a perfect segue into kind of the next thing I want to talk about. Is I think this year has been filled with unexpected positive outcomes. I mean, things that we tried, and that not just us, I think the entire Quad Cities has tried something new and have found some key takeaways. So, Kaylee, what was, one of the most unexpected positive outcomes from this experience for you?
Oh gosh, there are just so many. I have 3 images that I sent to Alex that I wanted to share that I think will encompass the things that I were the most, moving for me from this. So you can start with whichever one, Alex. That's fine. It represents, I think, I kind of split the way we did Festival of Trees this year into 3 things. And so the fact that we were able to pull this off, this like idea of like a Muppets style holiday special where we did a telethon and we had all of this, like dancers and interviews and holiday cheer happen. So that partnership with KWQC, with the spotlight, with all the folks who helped make that happen, like the fact that we were able to come together and coordinate that was huge. And so I think looking forward, like realizing that even when things look different, things can still be impactful, and we can tell our story in a variety of ways. And I think that by doing the holiday special this way, that really showcased our flexibility and our ability to be resilient in the face of, adverse circumstances. So I was really inspired by the way that our team and our team of volunteers and our community really came together behind this. So there's one.
Yes, I absolutely love the setting. And this was at the Spotlight Theater. So shout out to them for helping us make it happen. It was so cool to be getting updates of what was happening or what was on stage at the time. It was a lot of fun to watch this all come together. And it's just such a gorgeous venue. So that's one of the venues that I hope to jump out to when this all, returns back to normal. But yeah, so cool.
Yeah, very cool. So shout out to Dawn for having the knowledge of, I just want to bring up that this has been at Quad City Arts for, I don't know how many years. And Dawn just mentioned it casually at a staff meeting one day. And I freaked out because look at it, it's amazing and magnificent. And so the fact that we were able to get this like up and going, and Kevin patched him and the fans worked and we got it figured out. And he stood outside our gift shop that our volunteers worked really hard to set up. And the community came across the river and supported. Alex built an e-commerce site for us for people to be able to shop online. So this guy represents to me the fact that we were able to take a situation where like we were not going to be able to do anything, and we made something out of it, and it was magnificent, just like General Chaos, which is our name for our blow-up man. So, and if you want to go to the third one, Alex, that one is my favorite. As you can see, our head elf and fearless leader. This was on the day of giving. And it was when we had reached a point when we were having a celebration because we reached a milestone. And so Kevin and I did a photo shoot of him in his elf costume. But the day of giving was such an incredible moment to be able to reach out to the community and say, hey, Festival of Trees is supporting Quad City Arts and we need you to support what we're doing here. And I mean, the community showed up for Festival of Trees and for Quad City Arts, and that was amazing. Our planning meeting. Oh my goodness.
I snuck this one in there. Mostly this is one of my favorite memories.
Absolutely COVID safe with this one.
Yes, we were.
So like the fact that we just like got to work together, be a little bit like kooky and wacky, laugh a lot, and still like get what we were trying to accomplish done. Like what an incredible feat of teamwork for our staff and for our volunteers and for our community. I mean, honestly, like just the experience as a whole, coming away with the things that were worked the things that we did because we had to do it during this year, and the things that we tried and we're like, hey, this didn't work this time. And now we know we're not going to try it again. So I think it's just kind of the whole experience. I know I'm talking a lot, but the whole experience of just being able to come together as a group and have the support of the community in a year when we needed it was just hugely impactful and inspirational. So that is my TED Talk on.
Yeah, I think that with our group, it was really important for us to be able to laugh. And I think that that's one of the main things that really carried us through. So having to wear, putting on, the animal heads was just such a mood lifter. And I'm so glad that we did that.
Me too. I get tickled every time I look at that picture. It's so fun.
So Dawn, I have a lot of photos to show from all of the shows that have happened this year. Do you want me to start from the top? I'm not. Do you just want to? Why don't I just pull one up at a time, and you can talk about each show and what your favorite part of it was. So
okay, sounds good.
All right, let's see. See, it always takes me a moment to add more screens.
This is a nice thing behind the scenes, because usually it's just like you're just back there kind of, making the magic happen. So now we get to actually hear and see what you're doing.
Okay, this was one of my favorite shows, and I have a lot of favorite shows. I try not to be partial, but there's something special about every one. And this was one where this was in November, which was the month where we recognized it was 100 years since women achieved the right to vote. And all over the community, people were commemorating that. The Putnam had an exhibit, the Figge had an exhibit, the German American Heritage had an exhibit, Pat Bereskin Gallery had an exhibit. And we were it gave women a chance to think, well, and everybody, I hope, a chance to think about how far we've come in 100 years and, how far we still need to go, as a lot of things that came up this year. But it was great to celebrate that. And we had the paintings of Cecile Wheel, who is a French-American artist who lives in Burlington. And all of her paint, she's doing a painting of at least one a year of all the Nobel Peace Prize winners. And she showed 6 of them at the airport show, and they were all women. And then we had the work of Heidi Hernandez, who did portraits of women artists, many of them local women, and then some of them nationally known women artists. And then we had invited 13 local and regional women who do sculptures to be part of this. So it was a very strong show visually, and the content, the work was all, I would say, just highly professional. And it really showed the Quad Cities, the talent that we have in our area. And and for women, it just to show that women have these talents, I think is important too.
It was a very empowering show. Yeah. I really loved it.
And I do know that people came out to the airport to see it, people who had nothing else to do. So the airport is and I just want to mention this because some people think, well, you have to be going on an airplane or picking someone up, and it costs $1 to park, but you can just go there whenever you want. It's open 24 hours a day, the gallery part of it. And you can just take your time and go through and look at the artwork, and it's, they have really stepped up their cleaning, so it's super safe. This was another favorite exhibit. We had a sculptor and a digital photographer and a painter all together. And this was a challenging year too, because I had artists who couldn't do the shows because of travel restrictions, or it was beyond their comfort level. So I had a lot of switching to do this year too, and everything came together. So I'm just very thankful that things worked out. This is another favorite exhibit. This is the one we just had in the gallery. Jacqueline Garlock from Clear Lake, Iowa, does these amazing, huge paintings. They're like 5 feet by 8 feet, and some of them are, I think, 10 feet. They're bigger than life, and they're really fun. Each one tells a story, and almost everyone who came into the gallery said, "Oh, I feel like that's my neighbor, that's my sister, that's my friend." So just really, the community just really connected with these. This is the airport exhibit that we have up right now. These are paintings by Nancy Lindsay and Marcia Whitmore did botanical drawings. And to go with this, we thought it would be fun to work with the Fricksell Museum at Augustana College. And they helped us pick out specimens of rocks and minerals, and they really paired well with the botanical illustrations and the landscape paintings. And we've had some really good feedback on this exhibit. People they're interested in the rocks and minerals, and people didn't know we had this type of museum here in our community that is open to the public. And it just made a really interesting show.
Yeah, I have to say, I was really surprised how vivid some of the minerals were. It was such an echo between the paintings and the pigment within the minerals. It was really interesting. So I love the show. It was hung really well too. So
thank you. This was another kind of a happy accident. Margaret Ertz from Burlington, Iowa, was scheduled to be with another set of artists, and the scheduling didn't work out for the other artists. And then it was just a kind of a mess this year. But we ended up being able to put her with Ken Urban, and they were in the gallery, and it couldn't have been better. You can go on to the next slide, I think, and show Ken's. No, that's not it, but it's okay. There'll be an image of Ken's work here shortly. But it couldn't have worked out better. The two artists' work paired well together. They played off each other. Wonderful people. My only sadness is that we reopened the gallery after the quarantine period, but people were not feeling comfortable going out. And even though, for the most part, anybody could have come in and been alone in the gallery, we just didn't get people to see it. But the good side is that we have all of it on our website now. We now have that ability, and we sold some of the work online. So if it hadn't been for COVID, we wouldn't be doing that. So that's the positive side of it. This was another exhibit at the airport. We had, this was actually, let's see, kind of pre-COVID. We had sculptural textiles and 2 painters, and it was a beautiful show. And it actually ended up being carried over because another show had to be canceled during that time. This is Ron Meyer's work, and he was paired with David Van Allen for a really cool black and white photography show in the gallery this summer. And again, the only sad thing is getting people in to see it. It's just a fantastic show, but it's just hard to get people to come out with everything going on.
That show was one of my favorites. I love
this
that.
one.
Yeah. It was just such incredible work. And some of the pieces were so huge. Like, to see it in person is just, it was very moving. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, we are following all COVID protocols at the gallery. So you do, masks are mandatory. And we do have hand sanitizer stations, and we disinfect things very frequently. So, and if you feel uncomfortable coming in, do give us a call. Maybe there's a time when we can just schedule you in for a private viewing of the gallery. So do let us know.
It's absolutely worth it.
We've also done a lot of picture taking. If somebody has an artist they know we carry, we will take photographs of their work and text it to them, and then we bring the things out to their car. So we've really adapted to the situation.
Yeah, curbside pickup is something that was new and worked seamlessly, which was awesome. So I think that's a fun thing to be able to keep doing.
Yes.
There's
sure.
Ken Urban's piece. He did a show, photography show of silos that have trees in them, and that they're absolutely gorgeous. And there is another shot of our tattoo show opening. You see all those people interacting, and I hope we get back to that.
Hopefully very soon. I think that'll be nice. So it seems like I missed quite a bit here.
Technical difficulties.
So,
We just managed ourselves.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I will also. Honestly, I think Alex might have a new job. She might have to run the show and also be the interview person. I think it's been fantastic. So I will say, Amy Porter, she's the executive director here at the Botanical Center. She got me set up in this room. She got the lights on, helped me get connected to their Wi-Fi. Honestly, it's been an interesting night, with technology. But if we could circle back, I missed some of the positive outcomes. And I, as you guys know me, those are my favorite. I love the positive things. I love the silver
You'll
lining.
just have to watch it.
Yes, you're gonna have to watch yourself on screen.
Okay.
Dawn, was
Okay.
that our gallery kitten?
Yes.
Oh my God. So Dawn has a very good story. Dawn.
She wants to be on camera. My son found a kitten in a dumpster at where he worked this summer, and it was only 3 weeks old. And so we, of course, had to immediately adopt her, and she needed to be fed throughout the day. So I brought her to work for a couple of weeks until she could be home alone. So she got to tour the gallery and the office, and she's getting really big.
Yeah, that's one of the major highlights of the whole year. We had a gallery cat for about a month and a half.
Yeah.
Yay!
Sweet girl.
Yeah.
A positive outcome that I failed to mention that Dawn reminded me of whenever she was talking about taking photos and taking things out was that we did do curbside pickup. And the system that Hannah on our staff was able to set up for that was incredible. And so the flexibility and the opportunity to do something like that is just awesome. My fireplace timed out in the back, and so now there's a preview for something on the TV behind me. So sorry.
Excellent. Well, folks, I think, obviously, like, we know that this is going to come to an end. We know that we're going to be, somewhat, back to normal eventually. So I want to know, what are you most looking forward to? Or if money were no object, how would you celebrate coming back together for Quad City Arts?
I would do a whole multimedia show and get 3D mapping stations like all around the Quad Cities. And we can just all go out and maybe live music, maybe food, free drinks, the whole thing.
That sounds like a blast.
Excellent.
Yeah, I would just like to throw a huge party, maybe in November next year, for like 10 days, and just have everyone from the Quad Cities come and enjoy maybe some like holiday festivities, something like that.
Oh,
And a parade.
And
Have
a parade. Yeah, it would be awesome to do a parade.
Interesting. Well, I'll
So
have to
let's
check
just
our schedule.
Okay. Let's just
See if we can fit
workshop
that
that
in.
this year, maybe. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to just like hugging people and talking to their faces without a mask. That's the thing I'm looking most forward to.
Excellent. Dawn, you.
And we already have a plan in place for a big party. When the quarantine started, we started to encourage artists to keep creating or start creating if they've got time on their hands. So the original plan back then, we thought surely by January, we will be all back to normal and able to have this, big art show with a lot of people and celebrating. And a couple weeks ago, I said, no, this is not realistic. So we made the decision to put it off until October. And now we really hope that by October, we'll at least be able to gather together again. So we have extended our deadline. So any artists who are watching, you are welcome to keep creating and submit 2 pieces of art. There is no entry fee. And we really hope that we will have a big show in the gallery in October with, live music would be awesome. Live music and beverages and food and just all kinds of celebration. No masks. So that would be the dream.
People.
People's good.
Yeah. How
Excellent. Great. All right.
So one of the things
Dawn,
that
Alex, Kaylee. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
All you.
Oh no. One of the things that we didn't cover while you were out with our technical difficulties was all the Metro Arts projects that still happened and all of the sculpture that was placed all around the Quad Cities. I think that was a huge highlight. I absolutely loved going out there and photographing all of these amazing apprentices and also watching all of the sculpture being installed with cranes and, multiple people just moving them around in midair. It was quite stunning. So I'm going to share some photos of that here.
Yes. Excellent. So yeah, this is the prep work that goes into Metro Arts. So basically the first week, they are working on a design. And this is Sarah Robb standing up there as the lead artist. And I believe this is the Moline group working on their design. Actually working out of that Schweber Park. You'll obviously know masks and they're outdoors. And then they moved on to create some great pieces of art. And this is our improv comedy group. Small but mighty. We're able to have one public performance, everybody masked up, but it was a lot of fun and really good stuff. We were able to have them do some comedy live for us on 7 with Kevin as well.
That was
this
a fun
is that
episode.
same Moline group working on their mural. And yeah. And that's that entire group doing their big photo. This is the one that was done at Friendship Manor in Rock Island. This was actually a 2-part project that basically spanned the entire summer. It wrapped their entire maintenance building. It was a really large project and really quite impressive. That's the second group right there working on the opposite side. You can see that they're very different feels, very different styles from both sides of those buildings. But, being able to do the Metro Arts stuff was really fantastic. I mean, because it was outside, we were able to limit the size of groups. We limited, the sharing of materials. But it was great being able to put up, 2 new murals in the Quad Cities and really just being able to kind of spread some joy with some improv comedy. And the bigger thing is that all of these students were paid to hone their craft and really beautify our community. So how cool that still is able to happen.
Yeah, the other part of it was the sorry, back behind by Army's entrance, we have another project that we're going to be sharing out to the public soon. So that's something else to look forward to.
Yes. All right, Dawn, Alex, Kaylee, do you have anything else to add for this weird year-end review of 7 with Kevin?
What a way to end, though. Honestly, we're gonna do a wrap-up of 2020.
I mean, it's pivot and adapt. Pivot and adapt.
We're pros at that now. The only thing I just want Arts Dollars opens next Tuesday. So if you are an artist, know an artist, work at an arts organization, an organization with arts-related projects, it opens December 15th, closes January 31st. So I would love to be able to have some fun projects in 2021. And I think that the cool thing is that like we already know what we're going into in 2021, so we can already plan ahead. So I'm excited to see how these projects have adapted to this new reality. So that's my only thing.
And I just want to add that by arts, she means literary arts, performing arts, visual art, all kinds of art.
Yeah.
Anything
If you can make a case for it as an art form.
Yeah.
All forms of art.
Excellent. Dawn, anything to add from you?
Not just that we're looking forward. We're you know, it's been up and down. We called it the Corona coaster most of the year because there are highs and lows, but at the end of the day here, the end of the year, we're all still smiling. We're planning, we're looking forward.
Yeah.
Oh, is he
Okay.
frozen?
This is no. Am I frozen?
No, you're fine now.
Okay. Oh, perfect. So this is a rare occurrence that I get Alex on our screen. So I've had Dawn on the show. I've had Kaylee on the show. Alex, would you like to do 7 with Kevin?
For sure. Yeah, let's do this thing.
All right. So here's another little fun little fact. When I lost connection outside, I left all of my notes outside. So I have to try to remember these 7 questions. So let's go. All right, Alex, what are you currently watching on Netflix, TV, or other streaming services?
I am currently rewatching The League. It is not a sophisticated show by any means, but I'm watching it for the laughs and for some normality. Also, I am a big fan of Arrested Development. I watch that to just feel normal. So I think that I've watched Arrested Development about 7 times during this quarantine. Just about.
Excellent. All right, Alex. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars. I mean, come on. It's universal. Star Wars is everywhere.
All right. What is your favorite book?
So I'm originally from Argentina, and a lot of the books that I kind of bonded with were when I was a kid. My favorite book is called Cuentos de la Selva, and that's just Tales from the Jungle. And it's a book written by an author from Argentina called Horacio Quiroga, and he on this Tales of the Jungle is more about each different animal from Argentina and what they went through. But honestly, right now I'm not a huge avid reader, so I think that the main things that I've been reading lately have been like Rick Steves' travel books. The escapist in me is just reading a lot of travel books. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, Alex, where is the pizza in the Quad Cities?
We have this war going on in our office about the best breakfast pizza. And I have to give a huge shout out to Happy Joe's for their amazing breakfast pizza. I cannot say better things about Happy Joe's breakfast pizza. Also sponsor me. And yeah, that at Antonella's Pizzeria, the cauliflower crust, oh my God, heavenly. So if you need a change of pace, highly recommend those two.
I'm not even sure how to respond to your breakfast pizza. I mean,
I'm just opening up the floodgates for discussion here.
Yeah, I think in the comment section, they're going to be like, Alex, it's Casey's breakfast pizza. So that's just it. All right, Alex, if you could try any other, or if you could have any other profession other than the one that you currently have, what would it be?
I would really like to give backup dancing a shot. I think that would be such a fun job.
I think you could succeed at that.
Or a Zumba instructor. I'll lower, my goals just a little bit. Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. If you could have a drink with any artist, living or dead, who would it be?
I knew that this question was coming. But there's two artists that I'm really fixated on. I would have to either say James Jean. James Jean is such a great illustrator, and he has done amazing multimedia things. Now, he does illustrations from for textile, for Prada, for really high elevated brands. And he also does a lot of letterpress and does murals. He's an incredible multimedia artist. And as a media specialist, I really, really admire that. But another artist that I always go back to, her name's Bontaku. She is such an amazing welder. So she welds all her structures. And then she wraps canvas over those pieces and sews them with metal. It's incredible. So it's like very large forms. And I've always wanted to learn how to weld. I really admire her work, and I just hope that I get to see more of it in the future.
That's very cool.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay, so I'm pretty sure there was only 6 questions. I'm missing one. Does anybody remember what that other one was?
What's your go-to place for inspiration?
Oh.
Yes.
I don't have a cool answer for that. I think inspiration always typically hits me in the shower. It's like my mind is completely clear and just ideas tend to pop into my head.
Excellent.
So my bathroom,
yeah,
I guess.
I think that's yeah, that's where
Happy
a lot
2020,
of
everyone.
Excellent. Well, Alex, thank you for playing 7 with Kevin. I've been wanting to know these answers since we started, so I finally got those from you. So, Dawn, Kaylee, Alex, thank you so much to wrap up this year in review. I just really, really appreciate you. So, thank you all. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining. I know it was kind of an interesting night, rife with technical difficulties, but sometimes you just gotta keep going, and that happens. So great things still coming from Quad City Arts. Super excited about 2021 and beyond. Our gallery is open. Obviously, masks are required. It's a great spot for some last minute gifts. We've got some really great stuff from some local artists. Not only do you support Quad City Arts when you shop there, you support local artists as well. So I'd say win-win. Our gallery is going to be open up until December 23rd, and then we are taking a break. We're going to be closed until January 4th. So come see us before Christmas Eve and pick up a last minute gift. Also, I want to give a very, very big thank you to the Quad City Botanical Center. Tonight, some of the proceeds went to Quad City Arts. Their event is a really spectacular event. There are over 130,000 lights out there. Admission is only $8 for an adult, and I believe, there's a discount for children as well. So come check them out, support this really great cultural entity here in the Quad Cities. I know that I will be back to be able to actually take some time and walk through it. Just really, really great stuff. This is the final 7 with Kevin of 2020. We'll be back on January 7th with storyteller Reggie Harris. So thank you all for tuning in, and thanks for sticking with us. We'll see you next year.